Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be reacting to a video called Tips for Driving Fast on Narrow Country Roads. So this looks like my worst nightmare. I do not know why why do we want to drive fast on a country road? Like, no, country roads can get like really like narrow, and you know, they're like small, so I don't know why we're trying to drive fast. That doesn't seem safe to me. So I'm intrigued. Let's check it out and comment, like, and subscribe.
Here in the UK, on a single carriageway road, the national speed limit for a car is 60 miles per hour. And that includes rural roads, which are winding, narrow, barely big enough for two cars.
Okay, that seems like a lot. I think I would expect like the maximum would be like 30 or something of the sort, because that seems extremely unsafe to me.
You can't see very far, and sometimes they're even covered in green.
What are those sheep? Like, what's cattle in the middle of the road? That's crazy. Well, it's country roads, yes.
Moss and mud. And you may be thinking, isn't that crazy, having such a high speed limit for such a small, narrow road?
It's crazy.
Well, it is a speed limit, not a target. You don't have to do that speed. In fact...
Good point. Yeah, you don't have to like go over it. You can just like drive slower than this. It's gonna be fine.
It is a bit of freedom. You can do the speed you think is safe, because the speed limit's so high you don't have to worry about the limit. You're never going to reach it anyway.
Hopefully.
If on a...
Unless someone's a psychopath, and then they're going to be like honking their horns, like, go faster, and you're like, oh my god, no, please stop. And they can't like you can't like pull over to the side for them, like, just pass me. You can't. This seems like, this is crazy.
Driving test on a particular section of road, it's safe to do this speed, but you decide to do this speed because you think it's easier and therefore you're more likely to pass. Well, unfortunately, you won't pass. On a driving test to pass, you have to show that you can make the most of the road, know when you can accelerate, like on a straight, and know when you need to slow down, for example, when you can't see on a bend. And in this video, I'm going to help you with just...
I haven't seen the road and I'm already very scared, and I'm not taking the test.
That. First tip is to put your hands at 1/4 to 3 and...
Like, I was like, wait, like, what is this? Yes, of course, it's in the UK, they're driving on the opposite side. Besides that's already crazy to me.
Leave them there like this. When you're driving at speed, you don't need to steer more than this, so there's no need to keep taking your hand off the wheel to get extra steer.
What are you doing?
However, when you get to a slower section of road with a tighter turn and you do need to steer more, take your hand that's at the bottom of the wheel and put it on the top, and that gives you your extra steer. You will notice that racing drivers or anyone who...
Honestly, like, these are the kind of things that once you've been driving for a while, like, you just do this automatically. So it looks like, are you really doing this kind of thing when you're driving? I don't know. You're not thinking about it.
Who likes to do high-speed track driving will keep their hands at 1/4 to 3 because it enables them to steer without taking the hands off the wheel, giving them more control. And I'm sure you'll be the same. So
I don't know what you're doing.
I'm approaching a bend, I'm slowing down, going down a gear. And as I do the bend, I don't have to take my hands off the wheel because I really don't require much steering at all. The faster you go, the less steering you need. If I was to turn the...
This is crazy because I'm looking at him, obviously, like he's an instructor or something, and I'm like, I don't think I know how to drive. It's like, again, because I'm thinking about it, and I think, well, obviously when you're driving, you're just driving, and that's it. You're not actually thinking about things because you've been driving for a while. So I'm like doing this, I'm watching him, and I'm like, do I actually do this? I have no idea. Maybe I do not know how to drive.
The wheel by half now, that would actually be very dangerous, and I would most likely lose control of the car.
Okay.
I can actually keep my hands here because I don't need to move it so much.
Okay, I'm gonna guess.
And again, slowing down here, down into 4th gear. Bit sharper this one, but still not much movement on the wheel. Next tip is to follow the edge of the road, not the middle of the road. Sometimes this line in the middle will make you hit things like, well, big potholes and even trees.
Yes, it's tripping me out. I'm like, why is he driving on the opposite side? Just the opposite side already is like messing with my brain. I'm like, this looks abnormal. He has to be driving on the other side.
I've got an example round here. Just after this cat, there is a line in the middle of the road. And depending on what size of car I have, if I try to avoid that line, I may hit this mound of grass here. So if anyone was coming, I'd wait here, and when no one's coming, then I'll just drive over the line in the middle. I'm not afraid to drive over that line in the middle. I follow the left-hand side. When I get near bends, then I slow down and stay to the left as much as I can without risking hitting anything. So as
the other parts of the world, you would do this on the right side.
you can see here, I'm not following the line in the middle, I'm just following the left. It gets narrower in places like here, but I'll go over the middle if no one's coming the other way, that's fine. And when it gets wider, I'm further from...
The thing looks tiny. I do not know, like, how are, like, big trucks passing through and SUVs? Like, this road is very, very narrow. I do not know how, like, bigger cars are able to pass through this.
The middle, I'm maintaining a sensible, safe distance.
He's doing 50. I just checked it out. I think the speedometer is, like, on 50 miles per hour. That seems like, that's, I think, like, well, you do like speed.
When someone comes the other way, I look at my gap next to the car and go through. And next to this tractor, straight
Oh my God.
I try not to look.
The tractor! Oh my God, okay. Jesus, okay.
At the vehicle, but more on that one later. Next tip is to see and be seen. If you can see up ahead is clear and you can see that moving over will help improve your view, like now, I'm going to move over nice and early. That improves my view.
And he's driving when, like, the sun, usually this happens on afternoons and also, like, early in the morning at certain, like, at one particular part of the year, like, the sun hits in specific places and it's really, really hard to actually, like, check out the roads. And he's driving in this particular situation, and it sucks when you have to drive like that because the sun, like, blinds you, and obviously you're in narrow roads. It's like, I am completely blind. If this is a road that you're not used to, because I think once obviously you know where you are and you know where you're driving, you know, like, oh, there's a curve here and there's a straight bend. You just, like, if it's a road that you're used to driving, you tend to know these things. But if this is a new road that I've never been on before, like, this really is like a scary situation.
Of where I need to go. Also, it helps me see the oncoming car earlier, it helps them see me earlier, and it helps us both judge how much room we have.
Of course.
So how much we need to slow down and move over.
This is a very beautiful road, by the way.
I'm just going to drive to that same bit of road again and show you another reason why it's important to move out early. I don't know if you can see on camera at the moment, but you can't see the left side of the road very well. You can't see where the hedge is, so it'll be hard to see where people are walking.
Yes.
Or if there's anything there, but moving over early helps you really see the left side, where all the hedge is. If there's someone walking a dog, I'll notice, or if there's a car at the side or anything, a cyclist, I have more...
People walking their dogs here or just cycling, there's no sidewalk. What is this? Like, hopefully no one's doing this.
Warning of how much space I actually have. This time, instead of moving out early, I'm going to drive up to the obstruction and then move out late.
I think it's just the angle of the camera, but that red car, oh my God, that red car, I thought for sure was hitting him.
And you'll see how much worse my view is, and now I've got to move out late like a jack-in-the-box into oncoming traffic. Whereas this time, if I can see no one's coming, I'm going to move out early to maintain my view. And I can see the left-hand side of the road, if there's anyone walking there, and also the oncoming cars know where I am. But in those situations, if there's someone currently in the way, you can't move into them. You're going to have to slow down. If it's clear, move out early, maintain your view, and you can maintain your speed. But if there is someone in the way, you have to stay left and slow down and move out when you have to. Sometimes, if there's not enough room, you may even have to stop. And that leads me on to something else. You must always be at a speed where you can stop within the distance you see to be clear. Here on a right bend, it's much easier for me to see because I can see the whole left-hand side.
Yes.
But on left bends, you can't see as much. Even here, you can see less. It's not much of a bend.
No,
but
you can't see anything.
See the side, and there could be someone walking there, or there could be a driveway where someone's reversing out.
Hopefully not.
Here's another example. This is a much sharper bend. I'm going to slow down for this, go down a gear. And just on the edge here, there is actually an entrance. You can't see very far at all, so you have to go slower. So make sure you're at a speed where you can stop within the distance you see to be clear, including the left-hand side. In fact,
the cars that are passing on the other side, I'm pretty sure they're hitting the hedges. That's all I'll say.
Importantly, the left-hand side. Right bends, you can go a little bit quicker because you can actually see more, but on left bends, you can see less, so you need to slow down more. When passing horses, be very quiet.
Horses?
So keep the revs low, don't speed past them, and give them lots of room.
I've never encountered that situation before of, like, driving and there's a horse in the street. This is crazy. Where are they exactly? Because this looks like a wild place.
So you see I'm going to drive past them slowly.
There's an actual horse. There's two horses.
Room, so don't startle them and make them do their thingy-bob and jump up in the air, hurting
Oh
the
my
people
god,
in the back of them, and
I just would stop and take a picture. Like, this seems wild to me.
possibly even hurting myself, because they weigh a lot and they can do a lot of damage to a car.
Poor horse. No, the horse.
It's important
Think
to
about the horse.
accelerate and brake on the straights. So I'm braking now for this bend, going down a gear before the bend, and then trailing off the brake through the bend. You don't want to be
Seeing like the pedals again gives me anxiety because you're not really sure what you're doing when you're driving. You're not thinking about like, oh, I have to like use my brakes. You just like do this automatically. But besides, I don't really know how to drive a stick, so this is like, oh my god, I have no idea what's happening right now.
be doing sudden, harsh changes of speed mid-bend, because that can unsettle the car and cause you to lose control.
Oh my god, okay. Now you have more anxiety.
Brake before the bend, change gear before the bend, trail off the brake just as you enter.
You brake while you're like doing the downshifting, where you have to press the clutch and you have to like brake at the same time. I thought you just pressed on the clutch. I have no idea how to drive a stick.
The bend, trailing off the brake means you reduce the brake as you start to steer. Don't come off the brake suddenly, because a sudden change in deceleration can upset the car and cause you to lose control.
Absolutely,
you want to be as smooth and progressive as you can mid-bend. Ideally, no change in speed on the bend, a steady neutral speed if possible, but that's not always possible. Now I'm driving down a narrow national speed limit road, like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, except this one's actually quite clean, quite bumpy though. So I'm getting some speed on the straights where I can see it's clear, keeping my distance from the side, a sensible distance from the side, and slowing down before the bend. So if someone comes the other way, I'm able to stop, and I'm always trying to look to see if I can see what's to the left.
I was like, you have to pull over to the right. No, they have to pull over to the left if someone's coming, because they're driving on the left side. This is crazy.
There is a car coming, so I'm going to try and slow down at a wider point. Down a gear, looks good. Looking at the gap, not looking at the car. Try and get an idea of
I was focusing on the pedals. I have no idea what happened.
How this position looks now with the steering wheel, where I am in the road. I don't want to be really on the hedge or really close to the hedge. That's where most new drivers tend to go.
Yes.
It's important to use the space, use the good, solid road surface where you have grip. Accelerate on the straights and then brake before anywhere where you can't see them. Slowing down.
Yes.
There's a junction on the right.
I mean, that's usually how you drive, right? Like, that's normal advice for everyone. Like, you just like drive on the streets, and when there's like you have a clear view, and then you can accelerate. But then when you see like a little bend or a place where you really cannot see the road, like that's where you decide you obviously like have to like slow down, and you not accelerate. You not like go over like the limit or something. Of course, that's just like normal driving things.
Right, and I can't see round this bend. Down a gear. Oh, going quite a bit slower here. Really can't see here, especially on the left here. Could be anything here.
It's a really,
Now I'm down to about 17 miles an hour in case someone comes, and now I can accelerate.
It's like a hairpin turn.
Briskly but not harshly on the straight, and then reduce my speed again before the bend. Oh, car here.
Car.
Look at the gap. Go through the gap.
Oh my god, and the sun just like blinded.
I know there's a road on the right here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Righty-ho. So that sign there means no vehicles over 7.5 tons, except for access. So they can come here if they need to, get somewhere like a business. Line in the middle of the road is normally when you get to a junction. So there's no line in the middle of the road at the moment. But when you get to like the end of the road and you need to give way, you'll find there is a line in the middle. Braking again in a straight line, down a gear, and looking to see if someone's coming. Where should you look? Well, you should look far on the straights. Right now I'm looking up to the next bend, but when you get to the bend, try to look a little bit closer. That way you'll do the bend better.
This man, like, I'm trying to focus on the pedals and he's doing weird things. I'm like, I have no idea what's happening over there.
Try not to look across the bend too much if you can. I mean, this is quite close. You can't really if you want to. Because if you look across the bend, particularly on right bends, you tend to cut the corner and go into the other side of the road. really long straight here.
He's like downshifting a lot. Is that normal when you're driving a stick? I don't know.
Got passing places on the right, which I'll stop before to let people in.
Or just, I don't know, downshifting, because he's sometimes like, he's faster. So he's just like, I don't know, moving the thing.
Be able to get quite close to the speed limit here, getting a little bit bumpy. So I'll back off the speed a bit because I don't want to unsettle the car in any way.
I think he's going so fast.
I could use if I needed to wait. If I was going to wait in one of those spaces, I would slow down before I entered them. I wouldn't enter them at speed because often they're dirty.
This road doesn't seem like nowhere near wide enough for two cars to pass through, and not even just smaller cars. It's just like it's impossible for two cars to be able to pass through at the same time.
So not a lot of grip. You want to get your speed down where there is.
Okay, now it widened a little bit.
Very tight here, so I'm very slow. Now I'm going to show you how I would use a passing place, particularly a bad one that's very dirty and holy.
This is not that dirty to me.
There we go. There's a passing space on the left. So if I was doing even like 50, I'll get my speed down to this speed before I pull in, walking speed, first gear, then I gently walk off the road onto this dirt, over to the left as much as I can.
Oh my God,
give oncoming cars room to go through without damaging this car. And that way, being slow, I can get more accuracy as well. And the reversing sensors aren't liking how close I am to this bush. So I'll make them quiet. When the cars have gone through, then I can carefully make my way out, hopefully not going down that big hole. Now I just about missed it. And then carry on up the road. And I've got a car now.
Oh my God,
a real car this.
He just like, why are you going so fast? Slow down.
If only I had it that time. Now I'm looking for spaces on the right where I can let them go into. There's one
Oh, right.
here.
He has. I was like, where is he going to move to the right side? He isn't.
And I'm looking for spaces on the left. It looks like they might have slowed down. No, they haven't. I thought they slowed down. I think I can see a space on the left up here. So I'm slowing down now before the space. Down a hill. This is an easy space, a nicely paved space.
This is perfect.
And that was timed quite well. It's nice when that happens.
Completely.
No reason now not to go fast. No one coming. Braking now, before the bend, down into third.
What happened with the pedals?
And as it opens up, not yet, brake a bit more. And as the view opens up, like now, then I get on the power, get going.
Oh my God, how fast is it going?
I don't know this road like the back of my hand. I've only been down here a few times.
Okay.
If you struggle judging how wide your car is, well, I have a video all about that in the top right-hand corner of your screen. Many new drivers make the mistake of reacting to oncoming traffic by turning left. What you should actually do when you see oncoming traffic is to slow down.
Slow down, yeah.
Look at your space and try to judge if you have enough room to go through. Here it's quite easy. See, I can see the space there. Put my left knee right in the middle of the space and go through.
Oh, they were waiting.
It's harder, so if it's harder, you'd go a lot slower. The smaller the space, the smaller the gap you have to fit through,
this is tiny.
The slower you should go. Sometimes there may not be room and you may need to stop.
Yeah.
Here's an example of a narrow gap. Just look at the gap.
No,
left knee in the middle. Try and take half and try and give half. Although that was a big truck, so I gave them a little bit more than half. Just resist the urge to.
It's like say a prayer for like this giant truck, not to like scratch your car.
Bit like this. Whenever you see something big coming the other way, don't look at the object. Look at your space. And with time and practice, you'll get used to realizing the oncoming cars aren't nowhere near as close as they seem. They generally, if they're around here, you're not going to hit them. If they start to look here, yeah, then you're going to hit them. And my final tip is to slow down when someone's following close behind. Sometimes when you're driving quickly on these roads, you may have a car come up close behind quickly, as if it's a race, and follow you very closely.
Okay, why?
Don't try and get away from them. They will most likely try and keep up, and then things get dangerous. If someone follows close, you have to go slower so that you can stop. My rule is, if you can't brake hard, you can't go fast. So the closer they follow, the slower you need to go.
Correct.
Well, I hope this video helps you drive quickly, but more importantly, safely on country roads. If you think it does, please give it a thumbs up.
Okay, this almost like this was a journey. I feel as if I traveled with this guy. I like on one hand, obviously, like I was very anxious the whole time. I was like, this made me very scared. At the same time, like I trust him. He knew, obviously he knew what he was doing. So I think like I'm scared. I'm not in the car, but I'm thinking like if I were in this car, I would be very scared. Not even just driving. If I'm like, if I'm with this guy, I'm like, oh my god, please slow down. You're going way too fast. You're gonna get ourselves killed. I know, obviously I'm being dramatic, but it's just like, it goes like, oh my god, this is like a very narrow road and you're going like very, very fast. But honestly, like the rational part of my brain knows that this guy knows what he's doing and he absolutely like, he's a really good driver. So it's like, I would feel safe with him. It's like, yes, sure. Thank you. Like you made it out alive. You actually drove us here like safely. But I can't, the non-rational part of my brain, it's like, this is insane. This is crazy. I don't want to be here. Please stop. But obviously, like, he knows what he's doing. So he's like, no, yes, if you're ever, like, if I ever find myself one of those roads, like, I want this guy to drive. He's like, yeah, it's kind of like a scary situation, but he obviously knows what he's doing. And he did, like, he drives, like, very safely. I do think it's even that, and I said, like, he's very, like, you can tell he knows what he's doing. And he was, like, very specific on, like, you really do have to, like, take certain, like, preventive measures and for this to be safe and stuff. However, and I just said, yes, I would absolutely get in the car with this guy because he, like, I'm confident that he knows what he's doing. And again, I trust him with my life. However, I still feel that he was going very fast at certain points. I don't know if it's just like the perspective of the clips and the camera. I think like cameras like sometimes make it a little, like, it makes it look a little different than in real life, and in real life probably wasn't feeling like I'm not doing like 100, but sometimes it can feel like that, and it's just like the angle and just the camera itself that makes it appear so. But out of context, I did like I kind of like stopped checking the speedometer because it was like, this is giving me like I can't, like, this is very, like, this is crazy. But at one point he was like doing 50 and I'm like, this 50, like, I think 50 is really, really fast for this type of roads. But I don't know, what do I know? Again, I'm not super used to driving on this like narrow country British road, so maybe I'm the one that's on the wrong, and I'm like, I'm like, oh my god, you're going very fast. But it's like, no, it's normal and people drive to those speeds. Although he was also mentioning like the 90 is just like, you can't drive like over that, but it's not there's not a target, like he said. It's like you can't actually like go, oh yeah, we have to drive like, oh, we're 80, no, 290. No, it's not that. It's just like, it's for you to know, but obviously most people, if you're a sane person, like, you're not gonna drive like faster than, I don't know. To me, I think like the normal thing would be maybe around 35. On this type of roads, I don't think I would ever do more than probably 35, maybe even 40. And I think 40, I think that's like pushing it a little bit. But again, maybe it's because I'm not really used to it, and I'd never driven on these roads before. I think obviously because, again, that happens once you've been driving on a particular road a few times, and probably if you live nearby, or you have to like constantly drive on this type of roads because, like, again, whatever, you work there, I don't know, you constantly do things over there, you get used to the road, and it's just like something that happens naturally, again, because when you're driving, a lot of things happen just automatically. Obviously, you have to keep paying attention to the road, of course, always. But it's not something that you're not thinking about, like, oh, my hands are on the steering wheel like this, and I have to like push the pedal and the brakes. No, you just like do everything that happens naturally. So and automatically. And of course, again, it happens that maybe the first time you're driving on this particular type of roads, especially if it's like a new road or it's like so narrow, you're paying like more attention. It's just like a thing that happens naturally. You're going to be paying more attention. You're going to be more cautious. But once you're used to this, like the whole, like, again, you're kind of like your muscle memory like gets used to this, because driving, I think, is a lot of muscle memory. And you just like muscle memory like takes care of it, and you're not super like, I don't know, you're not super like 100% like being all like, oh, I have to like do this and that, because you already know like, oh, there's a bend here, and there's a straight like part here, and there's like a really sharp bend to the left. Like, you just know those things, and you just like do this automatically. So you kind of tend to drive a little bit faster just because you know what's happening, and you know all the bends, and you know where to slow down, where you know where to speed up. and you know, like, oh, where the parts are where you can't see the road, or you know there's gonna be a sharp turn, or there's like an exit here. Like, you just know these things, and you obviously, like, you drive faster. It's just a natural thing that happens, and you're not consciously like doing this. It just happens. So I'm used to, like, I'm thinking those people are used to this. So I am thinking about this, with the perspective of someone that's never driven on this type of road. And I'm like, oh my God, this is like very scary. But I think it's just because, again, I've never been there. And obviously, again, I'm seeing a video and I'm seeing a clip, and I'm not there in real life. And probably in real life, it looks a little bit less scary. And again, it's like, it's the first time you're driving somewhere new, like in this particular sort of like situation. It's a little bit like you have to be a little bit more cautious. I think obviously when you're driving on a highway, or I don't know, some other just sort of like type of residential road, like, it's just different, it's normal. But when it comes to like those narrow roads, I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm scared. I don't think I've ever, like, these types of roads, I don't think they're that common in other places, although I think there must be, but it's not that common to see them like in a lot of places. Like, the narrowness is just something, because obviously you have like country roads in other places, but they are a little bit like, they're narrow. They could be a little bit more narrow, but they still have, like, the lanes are still normal sized. Those like very, very narrow roads, I don't think I've ever, like, I only see them I think a lot of in Europe, a lot of them in the UK. I think there are some places, and I think probably, no, it's not France, but maybe, yeah, some places in other places in Europe also have them, but I think like the UK like has them by the tons. I don't think they're that common in other places. So even though they're a little bit narrower than in the US, they're still like narrow, but it's fine. This one's, I'm like, I don't think they're fine at all. I don't think how this is allowed. The fact that it's like, I don't really get why those roads are the way they are, because it's like, again, I get the idea. Maybe like two SUVs cannot pass through. I get it. It's like, it happens. Or maybe like a tractor and a truck, or like a tractor and probably like a big car. But I don't know what that is. Like, why can't you just like widen the road? Like, I get, maybe it's just because it's old timey roads. Like, they're very old, and there wasn't any need for them, because I don't know, there were carriages or something. So, they didn't really update it. They actually didn't update it like these roads. But when it comes to like, oh yeah, this is a car and this is the new normal, I do not understand why couldn't they just sort of like widen the thing. And even then, like in this, like I'm seeing a lot, well, not always, because there are some parts that had like houses, but other places it was just like fields. It's like, can't you just like widen this a little bit? Not even by a lot. I think like even, I don't know, like a little, like, again, just like a space like this can make like a really big of a difference. Maybe, well, I'm exaggerating. It's gonna be more like this, but it's gonna make a difference. So I don't really know how come they're not updating this. Maybe it's not a real problem. And again, I'm like, like creating a storm inside a teacup. It's like, no, trust me, like once you're there, it's not that big of a deal. And obviously the people driving on these roads commonly, they're like, it's not that big of a deal because they're used to. But I'm wondering how come they never updated this. I was like, yeah, again, maybe it's not that big of a problem. I'm seeing like the problem as an outsider, but it's like, oh my God, please like fix your roads. It's like, there's no fixing to be done. It's fine. There's like no accidents, like hopefully. Again, I'm gonna guess like the statistics show us that there's not a lot of accidents, and nobody this is not dangerous. This is not a dangerous road. Like it looks scary, but like the statistics show us that yearly there's not a lot of accidents, not more than usual. Like just accidents happen all the time. It's not just like, oh no, this is like a deathly road. No, it's probably not like that. And again, it looks scary. Like the whole thing just looks very scary. And again, now when I'm driving, I'm gonna be thinking, where's my foot? Do I have to brake? Do I have to again, I'm guessing you just do this automatically because it's like I'm not thinking about, oh, I have to take my hands off the wheel. I never actually take my hands off the wheel. But again, you're not actually thinking, oh, it's 3/4, it's 9. No, of course, once you pass your driving test days, you just do this automatically. And the whole stick situation, the stick shift, looks crazy. Again, I as someone that really does know much about this, the whole thing looked crazy. It's like, you don't know what your feet are doing. It looks like insane. It's like, what's happening over there? I do not understand how people are focusing on like moving their feet and also like moving the stick shift and also like the wheel. And I don't know. But again, maybe it's just, like I said, you just get used to things and it's muscle memory. So, maybe that's why I'm seeing it. Like, it's so weird. But yeah, if I ever like learn to drive one of those like stick shifts, I will obviously do the same and it's going to be muscle memory. But again, we're like at this particular time, it looks scary, it looks weird, it looks insane. That's all I'm gonna say. But that was it for today, and I'll see you next time. Bye.